Welcome back, everyone. Her official reign may be over, but Mrs. International 2020 isn't slowing down. Ashley Ray Klinger joins us today to talk a little bit about what's next.
Yeah, what's next?
Let's first just talk about the whirlwind, though, that was 2020 for you as Mrs. International.
Yeah, you know, it was a really great year. There's not one thing that we would have went back and changed. And truthfully, I don't know how to explain the year except that it was just a continuation of our life. You know what I mean? Like, our last year didn't define our lives defined the year in my role as Mrs. International. And our work with foster care started before I became Mrs. International. It continued during my reign, and now it continues afterwards. So nothing really changed for us. Just more opportunities were maybe presented to us, more doors were open to share our message on a bigger scale. But it was just such a memorable year, and it was pretty amazing.
And so you're not going to stop
No.
being an advocate for foster care. Can you talk a little bit about your passion,
Yes.
your story? It's something that is very close to your heart.
Yes, so our story, you know, we always share foster care. That's what I'm hearing. That was my official platform as Mrs. International. But our journey really has three parts. It's infertility, adoption, foster care. And there really isn't one without the other. It was our journey with infertility that led us to the adoption of our son Micah, that then led us to doing foster care. And that really is where our heart is. There's such a need for foster care. And last year was the perfect year to represent foster care. It's always a good time to represent foster care. But specifically last year, because of the pandemic, because of quarantining, we knew numbers were going to dip because people weren't, you know, seeing things that were going on at home. But when kids started going back to school, things were going to rise again, and we were going to need foster families to serve the needs of these children, and that's of course exactly what's happening. And so now more than ever, we need families to serve the needs of all of these children that are flooding the foster care system right now, unfortunately. And so that message for us, it's our life. It's something that we live day in and day out. It's not a hobby that we try to go figure out what to do on a weekend, right? This is something that we do every single day of our lives. So.
How about lobbying? I know that you've done a lot besides just, you know, on the
Yes.
ground level. The bigger picture, what do you have for goals?
Yeah, you know, so again, the work continues. So of course, our ultimate goal is simply sharing our story and trying to inspire and encourage other families to become foster families. And if it's not as a full-time foster family, because we know that's a big commitment for people, maybe it's just respite care, right? But besides encouraging people to be foster families, it's trying to provide support for the foster families because it's a big commitment. It's a big sacrifice to as a family, open up your life in your home to children and to kind of throw your life upside down. Let's be honest. I mean, you do kind of like a flip and everything kind of goes into kind of chaos for a few weeks. But wanting to provide support to foster families, to adoptive families. And so we've been continuing to work with members of Congress to try to pass a bill that they're working on behind the scenes. And that's something that's been going on for 8 months that we just haven't shared yet. But there's so much behind the scenes stuff that you hope eventually pays off to, you know, be able to provide that ultimate support to foster families, to try to recruit more to get them in the door.
If people are thinking right now, maybe I do want to help. How do I get started? Where do I go? Who do I call?
Sure. So if you know another foster family, reach out to them. Always remember, everybody's foster journey is going to be different. Yours is going to be different from mine. So reach out to a foster family, or you can reach out to county social services in your area. There's also Ask Adults Adopting Special Kids. There's Nexus Path here in North Dakota. You can reach out to any three of those entities or a foster family and just say, I just want information about foster care. What's the process look like? And just start gathering information. Nothing's committing you to going through with it, right? And even if you do go through with it and you become licensed and you just decide maybe it's just not yet the right time, that's okay. You ultimately have the decision to say yes or no to a placement that comes into your home. But just reach out. Gather the information, see if it's a good fit for you and your family. Maybe now, maybe later, maybe never, but just gather the information.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, I want to talk a little bit about, you're going to be helping other women who might want to go into the Mrs. International pageant, some really cool gear that you have out there, plus your current role as American Mothers Inc. Mother of the Year in North Dakota. So lots to talk about. Stay with us.